Michael,
Yes, sir.
let's get to it.
You know, Mark, Albert Einstein once said, the eighth wonder of the world is compounding. Now, when most of us hear about compounding, we think money,
Yes.
right? And simply interest versus compound interest. That's what we think. But it's actually very pertinent to every aspect of our life, every aspect. And I'll demonstrate it to you. We're going to go back to the last time you did mathematics, right? Y-axis, x-axis. Y equals x. What does that line graph look like? Right? Okay. Y equals x to the nth power. What does that line graph look like? Am I right? Y equals minus x to the nth power. Am I right? So now let's label the line graphs. Success. Therefore, negative y must be failure. And this is time. What this is saying, Mark, is if you, okay, of the line graphs, y equals x and y equals x to the nth power, this or this, which of these two line graphs would better represent people's expectations?
Well, especially what we're seeing now, Michael, is it definitely, especially with younger Jamaicans over the last 5 years, they've only seen Jamaica like this.
Yes.
And so we're really seeing that with social media and everything now. This one here, we're really seeing that everything is this year.
Yes. So actually, this is not necessarily to a genre of people. It's
Yes.
relative to everybody else. People's expectations generally are linear, right? They put, so what does this mean? If you take any of the component parts of success, effort, say, and so what you do, you'll be going up this line graph, putting out effort, get to this point in time, over time, you'd expect this amount of success, right? Right? Most people think I put out effort, I should get a commensurate amount of success. It's linear.
Right.
You put out more effort, you continue going up the line graph to this point, get to this point in time, and you'd expect this amount of success. Right? That's what people expect.
Right.
In terms of effort, results. But question is, what in life is linear? Is relationship with your kids linear? Your employer linear? Your staff linear? Your pastor linear? Nothing in life is linear like this.
It's only when your parents are taking care of you.
Okay, exactly. And you get the regular monthly dividend,
Yes.
right? Or stipend. Most things so nothing in life looks like this. In fact, most things in life are better represented by this. Y equals x to the n, the compound curve.
Right.
In other words, you put out effort, you go along the curve here, you get to this point in time, you expect this amount of success, but actually, this is all you get. This is all the success you have actually reaped, experienced. So the difference between what you expect and this which you actually get is called frustration.
Yes.
Right? So he said, okay, I'm frustrated, but my mom says I should always persevere. So I'm going to continue I'm going to continue this endeavor, whatever the endeavor is. So I continue going up this curve. I get to this point, right? I expect now this amount of success, but this is all I've gotten. So now my expectations are much higher than the reality. What is the difference between what I expect and what I've actually gotten now, called more frustration?
More frustration, yeah.
So what most people do is say, this doesn't work, and let me try something else. They try something else, they start from 0, and they keep going back and forth. 65 comes, then game is up, time is up, no more time, right? Now, there comes a point, an inflection point, when between you start and you get to this point, you put out an inordinate amount of effort, but you get a disproportionately low amount of results, right? And that's when most people get frustrated. After this point, though, you start going up the gradient of the curve. when thereafter you put out a little bit of effort and you get a huge, disproportionate amount of success. But most people don't get through to this point. The converse is also true. Y equals minus x to the nth power. In other words, this line, you see, this is the bad behavior line. You can behave badly, right? You get to this point, you look back, I've been behaving badly for a long time, but no failure has shown up. So what do most people now do? They keep behaving badly. They get to this point, they still, no failure has shown up. But there's an inflection point here when you behave badly once more.
And boom.
And you go to jail.
Yeah.
Right? So this summarizes any and every endeavor. That once we're doing, that the question is, what are the characteristics we need to get us through the inflection point onto the other side where we put out a little bit of effort and we get a disproportionate amount of success. What are the characteristics we need to persevere? We need three things. We need to make decisions based on having a sound framework, a religion, a culture that you are passionate about. That's number one. Secondly, you need to be able to control your emotions.
Yes.
Right? And you can only control your emotions only if you have a value system, a framework, principles, your framework that is absolute. You're not going to violate it. And the third thing we need access. Access to good people, access to financing, access to role models, etc. So you need those three things in every endeavor of our life.
Oh, fantastic. And where, when you look at this, when you purchased NCB,
yes,
where do you think you got in on this curve?
Oh, well,
because I know within a few years you got the profits.
When I purchased NCB, I was already successful in Canada, right? I was already. That's the reason I could have purchased NCB.
Right.
So I was somewhere close to here.
Right.
But now today, NCB just, as I said, we just completed a transaction that is nearly 500 million US dollars. So we now have NCB and the Guardian.
Right.
Together, that now gives us a lot of leverage.
So if you looked at this and put it into some perspective, especially what we're seeing so much in Jamaica now, and if there is a business that is, the stock exchange spoke about maybe launching a micro exchange.
Yes.
But if there's a businessman and he has 50 million Jamaican in sales, 100 million Jamaican in sales, and he's struggling to understand governance and why is he being asked by his CFO to do this and everything, and he's maybe somewhere here. Difficult to get access to finance, to mentors. What's your advice to that person?
To go back to the fundamentals of being a successful professional or successful business. Number one, we have to make sure that we do three things right, really well. The first is we have to make sure every day we think about how am I differentiating myself in business as a professional. Differentiation. Because if you don't differentiate yourself, you're going to end up like everybody else, a commodity. And the antidote to being a commodity is to differentiate yourself.
And so whether you make a lot of noise, you dress differently, how you carry yourself, but it's just something.
Or your passion,
that makes you different.
Belief. The first thing is differentiation.
Right.
The second thing is your behavior as a professional or as a business should be such that you every day make sure you're burnishing your reputation and you do nothing to tarnish it.
So as Buffett says, you can make it, or you can lose it in just a few minutes.
Exactly. And the third thing is, as a professional, as a business person, the prime focus, lots of noise every day, but the prime focus is we should be thinking about how to solve clients' issues. And if we do all those three things, and we focus on those three things, and those three things become our religion, we'll get through the inflection point naturally.
Perfect. Yes. It's very good advice, Michael. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Agreed. I like that. You bring me back to algebra and arithmetic.
Okay.
It's a common entrance all over again.
Exactly. No. We should be teaching this from common entrance.
From common entrance.
So that our children
yes.
can have a pictorial as to what they need to do to be successful in life, in whatever endeavor.
Yeah, that's great.